Hello and welcome to Coaster Curt's commentary. I am Coaster Curt and this is my 2025 roller coaster rating series, where I rate all 103 roller coasters that I rode in 2025. I used a unique 10 metric system to rate roller coasters, and I explain everything about it in my coaster ratings explanation video that I will link down in the description. Most of these videos were filmed a while ago, before I knew I was going to start a YouTube channel and before I knew how microphones worked, but I've done my best with the audio and I really hope you enjoy this series. Up first in this series is the incredible collection of roller coasters at the roller coaster capital of the world, Cedar Point. Okay, next up is GateKeeper. This was a good ride. I really like GateKeeper. Intensity. It has all the intense elements, but it kind of goes slowly through them. So, but you add more intensity with it being a wing coaster. I'm going to give it an 8. It gets an 8 for intensity from me. Yeah, I thought it was pretty intense. Pacing, it kind of slows down the pace a little bit. We're going to give it a 7 for pacing because it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like super fast, intense pacing. Operations, I rode it twice, maybe 3 times. The first time I rode it, I had 0 problems. Just walked in, got on, shoot, out the door. They were operating 3 trains. Everything was going smooth. The very last time I rode it, it was my last ride on my way out, headed to the airport. Let me get one more ride in on GateKeeper. The ride up kind of gave me a hard time about my fanny pack. The first couple of times I rode it, I was able to just slip my fanny pack into the little station cubby thing, and there was no problem whatsoever. But the last time, the guy told me that I have things tied to my fanny pack so I don't lose them. And he's like, you have to take all that stuff off and then take your fanny pack with you. And I was like, everything is like securely tied, locked in to my fanny pack. Like, it's going to take me a minute to untie everything. So I stood there on the station, last person to get on the train, untying everything from my fanny pack, putting everything else into the little cubby, and then securing my fanny pack across my body. And then I got on the ride. Consistency is really big in operations. So for operations, they're going to get like a 6 because everything else was lining up. You know what? No, I think they're going to give a 7 because maybe it was just that one operator. Either way, there's not really anywhere to put your things down in that station. So that gets another point off of operations. So 7 for operations sounds right for GateKeeper. Smoothness. It is silky smooth. I'm going to give it a 10. No need to talk about that. Layout. I think this is one of the best layouts on any roller coaster. It has so many different elements. And then you fly through the keyholes right over the front gate of the park. I think I'm giving it a 10 for layout. Sense of speed. You don't really go fast on this one, and you don't feel like you do. Let's see. Well, it says you go 67 miles an hour, but I think you slow down a lot on a lot of those elements, and it kind of keeps the pacing kind of slower. I didn't feel that big of a sense of speed. I'll give it an 8 for sense of speed. Restraints, I liked them. They were good. They were easy. I'll give it a 9 for Restraints. Not necessarily my favorite, absolute favorite, but they were really good. Theming. GateKeeper had like some pretty big gates leading up to the ride. Everything's nice and painted blue and it's pretty. I thought it was really good. And then the keyholes that they added at the front gate add to that. I'm going to give it like a 7 for theming. Yeah, that sounds about right. A lot of the rides at Cedar Point didn't have very much theming, which a lot of other parks do a lot better than Cedar Point is their theming. Whereas Cedar Point is definitely more of an amusement park, a roller coaster park, and other parks are like theme parks. Cedar Point doesn't have that much theming at their roller coasters. A couple of them did, but this one not so much. Airtime. There was a little bit. I thought it was pretty good, but there wasn't a whole lot. I'll give it like a 6. Significance. So this may not have a whole lot of significance for the industry as a whole, but I think it has a pretty good significance for the park itself. It changed the skyline for sure, and it definitely changes the vibe of walking through that front gate with that big roller coaster greeting you into the park. It's called the GateKeeper for a reason. So I think it's pretty significant to the park. And it's pretty significant to me. It's my first ever wing coaster, and I think it's still the only one I've ridden so far. I'm gonna give it like a 9. Yeah, I think it's a 9 for significance.
That gives GateKeeper an overall score of 8.1 out of 10. That's really solid on my coaster rating scale. The unique layout and perfect 10 smoothness is where GateKeeper really shines, and despite that one experience I had that one time with that one ride operator, I still think this is definitely a must ride every time you go to Cedar Point. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to follow along in my roller coaster rating series. Thank you for watching Coaster Curt's commentary, and don't forget to enjoy the ride.